Mm. All right. Welcome back for episode 4 of the Speak Your Truth podcast. We are SYT. Tonight, I'm super excited to have a friend of mine in from Atlanta. Yo, this is cool. I just want to say, this is our 4th episode, and we've already had 2 people come in from out of state. So that's a good sign, right? Kareem Manuel is a close friend of mine. I've known him since I was probably 20 years old. He is the owner and operator and founder of We Society, a lifestyle brand out of Atlanta, Georgia. And Kareem's big idea is that we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So yeah, everybody, Kareem, say hello to the people.
What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? I'm feeling great.
It's about to be lit. We ready?
Mm-hmm.
So we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Deeply philosophical.
Yeah, for sure. It feels so tangible to me.
So tell us, like, what does it mean to you? Why is it important? Why did it lead you to like change your life, start a clothing brand, a lifestyle brand? Like, what happened?
Yeah, man, what happened? I've been unpacking this for 10 years. What happened to me?
Damn.
Man, I was married. I was a pastor. I wanted to do good in the world. I wanted to change my own narrative about what a family could be and what people could do and working together. And church was the way I saw community primarily growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to invest in that and give into that. But we had moved to Atlanta so that I could make a lot more money, and that was going well. And the South does something to you if you're open to it.
In a good way or bad way?
For me, it was a good way.
Okay.
The history, I mean, there are people who have stories of just like, yeah, and then the Klan came and took my brother, and we've never seen him again.
Damn.
Like right now, and there were so many people that looked like me and just black businesses everywhere you turn. It was just, and every type of black person, like not just, a certain conglomerate, like every single type. So I like to say I was asleep spiritually, emotionally. I was not present or conscious of my life. And I was very comfortable and even hopeful that God would run my life and I wouldn't have to be conscious of the choices I make or responsible for myself or what happens. I was very happy to let the other systems lead and guide. And one day, the short version of the story, I was in my basement complaining out loud to no one in particular or to everything, kept saying somebody needs to come do something about this. Our school systems in our neighborhoods are always messed up. People I love and know who are great people never seem to have enough. We've been crying and complaining about the same things for 500 years. We got people getting separated at the border. Our families are being torn apart. Our whole political system is fucked up. The education system is fucked up. The economy is fucked up. Somebody needs to come do something about this. And then I just felt myself go like, yes, someone should. And so what are you going to do?
you just took it all.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, it's me. It's on me.
It's on me.
And it's not just me. It's on you too.
Don't put that on me.
It's we. Period.
Don't do that, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that on me.
Don't put that even on me. We're the ones we're waiting for.
We're the ones we're waiting for.
And once I realized I was waiting on me for my life to live as great as I felt, to bring out the ideas and the gifts that I've been given, it changed everything. So that was what happened. January 3rd, 2017 is when the idea dropped into my soul.
Yeah.
And by July, I had started the We Society.
We're in a time period where people talk about this idea of like radical accountability.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always like some Navy SEAL kind of person who's been to war. Who's like, you got to just be responsible for everything. So I kind of pushed away from that idea for a while. But the way you say it, it sounded very empowering.
Yeah, I felt empowered. I didn't feel responsible for everyone, but I felt responsible for myself and my community. And if we do that, we have a bigger impact as the responsibility grows and goes. So instead of looking outside and saying, they're not treating us fairly, they should do something about our school, it's like, what am I doing about the school in my neighborhood? Am I volunteering? Am I giving money? Am I helping the kids? Am I helping the parents? There's something I could be doing that's going to help my community be more stabilized if I'm aware, even if it's just being the best possible person I can be and being good to my neighbor. So I didn't feel like I needed to boil the ocean. It was just like the section that I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm involved.
I'm there.
I'm here.
I'm present.
That's it. I'm very involved. I'm very present. And if you do it and you next to me, it's like it grows and grows. So it's not like we need to go save the world. I think the world is actually fine with all of the.
That's a wild statement. The world is actually fine.
The world's actually fine. This is us equalizing.
Like I'm saying, what if everybody just thought that the world is actually fine? Because I feel like, especially with the election coming and all this stuff, you know, it's a dark period. Everybody's afraid. Everybody's like, this. If this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. But what if we all were just like, no, actually, the world's fine. It's gonna be okay. It's been going on. It'll keep going on.
I mean, every 4 years we're triggered in the same way. Every 4 years we're having the same arguments. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying it's like the people are gonna get on TV. They're gonna run their ads. They're gonna tell you what they're gonna do, or what this other person's gonna do, and they play on the fear, and then we get afraid. And then they're kind of gone for 3 years, 2.5 years. And then they're back. Ha ha, be afraid.
Again, be afraid again. Choose me.
And it's like, we survived worse. I mean, there was a time in this country where it's like, we could have just been strung up in a tree.
That time is now. That just happened in North Carolina recently.
That's what so, Great Depression, on and on. We made it through a lot. We still found ways to love each other, to get married, to
have babies.
Everything's all right.
So why fashion? So you had this idea, you have this awakening.
Yeah.
You're not going to put it on God or the president to solve your life problems. You're going to take it on. And then you decide to make clothes.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a rapper.
That's true. That's true. You are a rapper. That's true. I forgot.
So I'm a rapper. A lot of people forgot, including me for a little bit, but I just dropped some music. Y'all better catch up.
You want to tell them about the song?
Maybe.
Okay.
After this, because this is a great question. I wrote a song called Power. And then the hook, it kept saying,
I think Kanye West wrote Power.
Yeah, he wrote the massive Power. That's why my Power never came out.
Kanye, if you're listening, you got to hear his version of Power.
No, you don't.
Don't spoil it. He might call.
Okay, call me though, because I do got some shit you got to hear. But it's not that. And in the hook, I just kept saying, "We got the power." And it was really a chant for myself. I was just coming into awareness that a group of people united is stronger. What I kept seeing was a scene of like, we're on a playground and a bully keeps bullying you and taking your lunch money. Then he walks over to me and he bullies me and he takes my lunch money, and then he goes to her. And one day I just say, "Hey man, fuck this." And we all just rally together and be like, now try it. Now it's everybody you bullied is all together.
Yeah.
And we're not having it anymore.
We're not taking it.
You know what I'm saying? That's the power. It's like, what if we just we're together? And so it's like, we got the power. And I wanted to make merchandise that goes with the song.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it all started. And when this was designed and made and I saw this, it was like this. It said, oh, I do this now. It was so beautiful to me. It was so simple. It was so powerful. It was like, I make clothes. It was that fast. I make clothes.
You just decided?
I just decided right then and there. And it wasn't even an actual shirt. It was just a mock-up of the shirt. But the font, the layout, everything was perfect. And I said, this is what I do now. And then I just gave everything to that. I mean, because I was sick. I didn't know if I could rap anymore. I kept losing my voice,
Yeah.
But then this idea, it healed me too. Like I lost 100 pounds. I got off all my meds. I got rid of my diabetes and high blood pressure. But yeah, there were weeks I would just wake up and couldn't communicate. I couldn't talk at all. Excuse me. Because I had so much mucus going down my vocal cords. And being like, oh, I'm responsible for myself. Let me get healthy.
Let me do it.
Yeah, let me do it. Because instead of sitting around and talking about doing it, it's like, let me actually do it. And yeah, I lost 30 pounds in a month and then 100 pounds in 3 months. It was like, it took over my life. It still is.
No, I remember when you came back that first year after being in Atlanta, you came as a friend of ours, pastor, like I don't know what you call it. I'm not church folk like that, but his pastor birthday.
Okay, yeah.
It was at Maggiano's, remember? And you came in and you had all your clothes on, and you were like, everybody's like, "Whoa!" It was like, "Who is this?" Very different, very different.
It was like I went away to school or something, found himself. Like Kareem has found himself.
He has found himself.
Yeah, and it took a lot of losing myself.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. Like I do know. That's cap.
Yeah,
like,
just say it.
The Bible says like whoever wants to find his life will lose his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I had a very strong picture of who I was and what I was, what those responsibilities were, what the responses,
Mm-hmm.
my life's responses, what I felt like I had a very good picture of myself. But then as I started to actually engage in the world with my own thoughts, let myself think my own thoughts and feel how I really feel, not how someone's telling me I should feel. Like even now, people are like, well, you got to do this because if you don't, then this happens. It's like, I don't care. This is how I feel. I either feel it or I don't. As that happened, a lot of the things that I was holding on to, a lot of the identities that I was holding on to absolutely melted. And once they melted, it was like, oh, well, if I'm not that, what am I?
I'm sorry. I think that's essential for getting a big idea, because like you have to question everything at some point.
Everything.
Like we were born, and we're shaped by every experience. How our parents treat us, where we go to school, where we live. We just get inundated with all kinds of ideas, and then if you never questioned it, you never get to have the powerful moment of deciding who you are. And I think like everybody I've interviewed so far who has had a big idea had to question a lot of stuff, like question what they were given.
Yes. My mother came down because I was changing so rapidly and so dramatically. My family was worried that I was going crazy.
You were so different.
So different.
I mean, you were a church planner, a pastor, you did almost exclusively community work, and then you left it all to do something very different.
Started a business, lost 100 pounds, like went from 250 pounds to 155 pounds, stopped eating meat, went plant-based, went from monogamous to polyamorous.
You didn't do all that in a year.
Yeah.
He said it was just like a light switch went on, and you challenged every belief you had.
Therapy, and that's why I told my mom and anybody else who would listen. It's like everything is on the table. My own thoughts. I don't trust it just because I feel it or just because I think it. I imagined I was the king of my own inner kingdom, and I sit at the table with my advisors and go, okay, what are we learning in the kingdom? What's the education system like? How are we doing? How are we making money? Who are our trade partners? Do we know what's our product? What are we eating? How's the farming going? Are we hungry? Are we starving? Do we have enough to make it for the rest of the year? And when I started questioning my advisors in my own mind, they were like just wrong. They didn't have a lot of answers. Like, we don't know what the money's doing. We don't know what we should be eating. We thought we did. We tried all these things they said, but you're still sick. And that's all I kept saying. It's like, if I knew how to be healthy, I would be being healthy. I don't know. And the answers are out there. I'm doing something wrong. And too many people I love are sick. I got to change it up. And I got to be willing to let it go. And I remembered thinking, I can't even imagine myself being vegan or vegetarian. And I was like, well, if I can imagine myself eating better for myself, who's going to?
Yeah.
Nobody. I will die. Like, I was on 7 medications every day and I was 30 years old.
I remember them days.
It was wild.
Like wheezing going upstairs to your house.
Bruh. And I'm like, I used to be so athletic. I've never been sick. And it's like, oh, it's the food. And so without getting too much on a high horse, it was like being willing to let everything die. And I remember saying, I'm not choosing what to eat, not just physically, also mentally. I'm not choosing what to eat based on what's good for me. I'm choosing based on what's familiar. My mama gave me this food. On Easter, we eat this. At weddings, we eat this. At New Year's, we eat this. Super Bowl, we eat this. And I love my family. I love hanging out with my friends. I love eating wings together. I love getting together on a Friday night and going to the bar and getting a beer and blah, blah. And it's just like the joy of it was so great, but it's killing
you.
Yeah. And so it's like, am I willing to walk away from all that? And then the answer was, yeah.
I think that, I mean, like, I know we society and we are the ones we've been waiting for is your big idea behind your lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
But I think what you did in that journey is a big idea that people have to also kind of get into. Like, to be able to have the courage to question the traditions you've been given, the history you've been given, and to take the time to say, do I actually like this? Is it benefiting me?
Is it benefiting me?
Is this what I want to be? Am I living up? And it's not an external. It's not like somebody has to give me something. It's something I got to give myself.
Period. Yeah.
And then you can make better choices from there because you actually have a strong sense of the values that you have now.
It makes it so simple.
Yeah.
It really makes it simple to decide how I'm going to be in the world, how I'm going to. And I'm still questioning, even though I feel confident that I know myself now. It's always on trial. Because, like, just because it worked,
because you might change.
Yeah. I hope I do.
Like, we live in a universe, not to get all woo-woo, but I'm a woo-woo kind of person.
Yeah, come on now.
We live in a universe that is ever changing. Everything's moving, everything's growing, everything's expanding. Things are dying and being born all the time.
All the time.
So why would we ever think that we're not like that?
I don't know.
When we're all just made of stardust, you know, water, electricity, and stardust.
All this stardust got me on go.
But it's like, I think it's something interesting that most humans crave predictability.
Yeah.
They want to slow everything down and say, this could stop. This can just be the way it is so that I can know how to manage it, you know? But in reality, chaos is the order of the universe. Everything is going to happen. Things are happening. You can't predict everything.
No, you cannot. And the only thing you can predict is that things are unpredictable.
Right.
You can predict that change is coming. That's it.
Well, you can guarantee it. Something, you know.
That's it.
So you have to choose how you want to relate to that.
My sons are really into science, and so we got Georgia Tech a lot because they have the largest publicly accessible telescope available.
What do you mean publicly accessible?
So that they're telescopes that are only for scientists. Like we couldn't just walk up and go see the Hubble and be like, right. Let us look through the Hubble and see the planets. But Georgia Tech has the largest available telescope for the public.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And so we're there a lot, and all throughout their astronomy section, they're like, the atom itself is growing and expanding faster than any time in recorded human history.
But you want me to stay. You want me to stay the same.
Like on a molecular level, they've never seen atoms duplicate themselves as fast as they are, create as fast as they have been across the entire universe. So what does that mean for you and I? So yeah, I started questioning, and it was scary. I mean, it was, especially when you put in things with religion, like hell, losing your community. It's like I've invested thousands of hours into these relationships. Like, we've been through so many things.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
You know, what did it cost you to pursue these big ideas? What did it cost you to pursue the We Society and that business? What did it cost you to pursue self-improvement over tradition?
Mm-hmm. You know, not to put it lightly, but everything. It was like, I was married. We lived in the same house with our children. I have this big idea. I started going to therapy, started getting healthy, and like that relationship could not sustain it. I have friends who were the people I would call to celebrate and to mourn anything that happened. Like this is my tribe, and they stopped answering the phone. And I get a lot of the reasons why. It's like, how can any two walk together unless they agree? And it's like, it was very clear. I no longer agreed with the lifestyle, and not in a judging way. It's just like, we're not going in the same direction. I didn't know how I was going to make money. I had invested so much into the economy of nonprofits and church and those.
Like, that's how you got to Atlanta. It was a
yep,
not a church job, but it was related to church.
Yeah, for sure. And so it was like, if I walk away from this, how am I even going to make money to take care of my children? And so all those fears. And then you add, and then like going to church every Sunday and having that type of community. And it's the songs and the way I had trained my spirit to be soothed by the blues of the gospel. I think the gospel is very bluesy music. Just with Jesus' name.
I call it the evil church chord. You hear those church chords in isolation with all the other stuff? It is dark.
It's dark because we're suffering.
Yeah. Damn, I never thought about that.
You know, it's always like, we need a miracle.
You need something external from you to help you release it.
For sure. And it's beautiful that we have that, but I'm leaving all of that. So here I am. I don't know how to date. I've been married since I'm 21. I'm now 31. I'm plant-based, so my pool is limited. I don't know how I'm going to make money. I'm starting this company. I really believe and the reason I started a company instead of a nonprofit or something is because of the power of commerce and capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
When you own your idea, when you own your thing, and you can just say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not changing my mind. It's what I love about Ye.
Man, well, okay, we're gonna talk about that. But I think that that commerce piece is really interesting. 'Cause I think sometimes people get really they want to change the outside world to match their internal state.
Yep.
But sometimes you have to realize that you live in the outside world. It is what it is.
It is.
And I think that I didn't learn what it meant to have a business or be a business owner until COVID happened. And everybody's like all over the world, like other countries are like providing so much more aid to their citizens. And like in America, we got $1,200. Like what happened? Like no. Citizens get $1,200. You had a business.
Yeah.
There was thousands upon thousands of dollars of support. That's because that's what America is.
Yep.
So it's like, it sounds silly, but everybody needs a business because that's what America values.
It does.
America doesn't value people. America doesn't value community, society, and values commerce.
I mean, think about Tyler Perry. Like we used to roast him, and then
I never roasted Tyler Perry. Don't put me in that. Tyler, I've never said anything bad about you.
people
I'll be abusive husband number 4 and whatever's coming next if you let me.
Cast my man. But it's like, he started being successful, making money, and doing all that stuff, and then it's like, oh, we should listen to him. It's like we just respect. We respect business.
It is what it is.
It is.
I don't agree with it.
Yep.
I don't think capitalism may be the way we should do things.
But it was right.
But while I'm alive today, if I want to survive here,
if you want to survive here, and I have children, I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving, and they got to have something too.
Period. I'm with you on that.
Be gentle. These are very thin glasses.
No, we got it.
We just destroy the set. Tom won't ever invite us back.
I'm Tom.
They don't know that. The guests don't know. Don't confuse them now. This is Kareem. This is Kareem. Don't confuse it now. But I think the point about business is real. It's like, as I further my own journey in entrepreneurship and things like that, it's amazing what you get to be a part of when you have a business.
Period. That's so true. I get calls all the time in Atlanta because I have a business. It's like we need business owners. But then it's also like I came from social organizing and we think this is wrong. We need to rally together and we need to go march on it. And I think there's room for that and there's space for that. But it was something else where it's like, I'm powerful enough and I'm saying like, we're not going to buy this anymore. Or someone saying, you can't say this. And it's like, I can. I did. I can. I don't apologize because I meant it. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. If people don't want to buy the product anymore, then I lose because that's the game. But I said what I said, and I'm still making my product. And if people believe what we're doing, they'll keep showing up. But as soon as it's like tied into like just emotionalism and sensationalism, then I'm at the mercy of too many things outside of myself.
I love that. Like when we work with our clients, I'm always encouraging people to trust themselves and their values and say their big idea. Because the thing is, people want to hack and say something that they guarantee they get an audience and people will like it.
Yep.
But there's no power in trying to be something to everybody, right? You got to be something to somebody. And your brand is very powerful in that you make a stance. I believe this is the value. This is what I think. And then if you agree, you come.
Yep.
And it's very passionate enjoyment and people join up.
And they really do.
And if they don't come, then maybe I shouldn't do this idea then.
Right.
Because
maybe it's not time, maybe it's whatever, but I'm not going to compromise the idea to try to get the people, and I'm not going to
don't compromise your idea.
No.
So many like nonprofits and businesses do that. They forget who they are, why they started, and they compromise their idea to try to get people. And it's like you got to just be who you are.
And and if it's time for it, it'll work. People,
if it doesn't work, be humble and say it.
Hey, that didn't work, but I tried. I gave my all for sure. And the joy I have in that, it's like even recently, it felt like everything crumbled, but I was able to stand in it because I know I gave everything that I have plus some to this thing for the last 7 years. So if it's over, it's like, man.
Well, let's talk about this because I think that's another big idea when we were just discussing when you came in. You've learned to be a person who embraces the fact that things live and then they die. And some part of our society is not comfortable with that. We want to fight for everything. Like keep staying in the marriage that's not working for me. Keep working in the organization, believing it will change. Keep doing these things. But sometimes it's time for stuff to just like to let it go. And you are at a place in life where you're trying to master that energy and not fight it.
Yep.
You want to talk about that? Like what happened with the store and what's coming next and that journey?
Wow, yeah. So, I mean, it was a cycle of dying and rebirth. It was 2022, and I'm like, oh, this is dead. I got to let it die. And I remember saying to the girl I was seeing at the time, who I still appreciate very much, thank you for helping me on my path.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. I said, this version of it at least has to die because nothing's happening, and I'm investing so much energy for literally no response. Like, it's a cadaver. It's nothing. And as I'm having a ceremony to release it, to say, all right, whatever.
You had a ceremony?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I mean, I made some cacao. It was November 11th, so it was 11/11. I had cacao. I had friends over. Had some hot pay. We were writing our intentions for like the next 12 months.
Yeah.
You know, I was acknowledging that I was releasing We Society and its current iteration to make room for whatever my life said next, including not doing We Society ever again. Like, this is done. And I have friends, and we're all like praying for our lives, and they're supporting me. And then I get a text, my phone, hey, would you be interested in retail space in Ponce City Market? And Ponce is like one of the premier shopping centers in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's like the bougie center.
For sure, for sure. And it's like, what? So without getting into the details there, we opened up there, and I was there for the last almost 2 years, which was great. And like having months where we're doing like 15,000, 20,000 in sales, to go from this is over to people coming in and going, I love this. Please don't quit. Wow. Don't you give up. This means something to me. And it's just like, thank you. I'm with you. And I had to ask my business partner to step away from the business recently. I have family members have some health issues. I have friends pass away.
Your grandfather passed away?
My grandfather passed away. The cash flow in the store wasn't the same. We were starting to move in the right direction, but I was like starting to get behind on rent, just paying the little bits that I can. They got bought by another really big company, and like things changed. The person who brought me left, and it was just when we went to negotiate my next lease, it was just clear like, oh, it's time to go. Like, they're not really.
It's not the same.
No, not at all.
Not the people who invited you to come in the first place.
No, and what they want is more. It's like the cost keeps going up and up and up. And so, yeah, I had to leave the store. So I was leaving the store, but then I also had to leave my personal home. Like my landlord sent an email in August, said, hey, I'm not renewing the lease with the company that we were using to rent the house. I had roommates. It was me and two or three other people. And he's like, in October, it's going to be over. And so I'm like, okay, let me start looking for a place to live. But then August 6th or 7th, we get a knock on the front door, and it's the marshals to get all our stuff out. Like, everybody's evicted.
Wow.
So I'm like, what? And as I'm taking our stuff off the lawn, putting it in the car to go to our storage, which is like a couple blocks away, I get pulled over by the police and get this whole thing. The boys in the car with me, my sons, and the cop just ends up saying something like, man, you just need to try harder. And I just look at him and I start to cry, and I'm also about to scrap. Like, I'm about to fight this. And I know, and my son.
You're at your breaking point.
Yeah. And my son grabs my shoulder. Nathan, he's in the back seat, and he grabs my shoulder and he goes, Dad, you're doing a great job. Wow. Bruh. So all that happened in 2 weeks. My grandfather, my home, the store, and I had no idea what was next.
And so you hurt everybody and like burnt shit to the ground, right?
Nah, I was so proud, bro. I really accepted. I could have fought to keep it. I know I could have. I probably even could have fought legally what just happened to me. But I hated being there. I hated it. It was deteriorating so badly with everything that's going on. And I just said, everything is either falling apart or it's falling into place. And it really depends on how I choose to look at it.
Everything is either falling apart
or
falling into place. It just depends on how I choose to look at it. I think that's a big idea.
I'm the one I'm waiting for.
That's a big idea. But you're the one you're waiting for, but it's also just kind of like we as humans have the ability to imbue things with meaning, whatever we want.
We're always.
So why not pick things that work in your direction? Like this setback, whatever it is like it's falling apart. Or
have you ever saw? It's an old mafia movie with Chaz Palminteri. I think it's called A Bronx Tale.
Yes.
I think you actually told me about this.
I don't think it was me.
Wow.
It might not have been me. I don't think I've ever seen A Bronx Tale.
I'm about to tell you right now. I think it was.
Okay.
But the young guy who's being mentored, sees somebody who owes him money in the street. And he's like, hey, what's that? And the guy's like avoiding him. He's like, man, and he runs away real fast and he's like about to chase him. And the mafia boss grabs him and he's like, hey man, what's going on? Why are you acting all out of pocket? He's like, that guy owes me money. He goes, okay, well, hold on. You like this guy? How much he owe you? He's like, he owes me $20. He's like, you like this guy? You like talking to him? He's like, nah. It's like, so for $20, you never have to talk to him again.
Right.
He's like, relax. It's working for you. And I believe that. I really believed it. I've worked too hard. I'm past too many tests. This is not personal. I don't think the universe is conspiring against me to hurt me. I don't think God, whatever you believe about that, is sitting somewhere and going, he deserves pain and punishment. And it's like, it's time to get out of this home. It's time to get out of this space.
Embrace it.
And to embrace it and let it go. And now we're building a new space from the ground up in the next premier shopping space of Atlanta. And they're giving me money to do it.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have your values and you believe in what you're doing and you stick to them and you trust and have faith that it's going to work the way you want it to work, even when it's uncomfortable, sometimes something's got to die, something new can be born.
Period.
And I think we just forget that.
We're
afraid to make change. We're afraid to just say, let it go. But like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in my third or fourth iteration of this life in real time.
Absolutely. And I think as well too, like, it's not that far to fall. Like, we're afraid of falling. The older we get, like, you're afraid of falling down. Like, even just like, physically, I don't want to fall, but it's like, it's not that far. We like to think that we're like way, way, way high up, but
it's just fear.
It's just fear.
It's amazing. Like we were talking on the way up to the studio today, and like I've always viewed you as a fearless person. You follow your heart and do the thing you want to do. You were an artist, and I was doing your marketing.
Yeah,
but I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
and I had to grow out of it. But it's just amazing, like how fear really is debilitating. And like, that's just not an energy that's restorative. It's not an energy that's healthy. It's not an energy that's going to grow anything. You're never going to make it out of fear. Until you learn to love, you're not going to make it anywhere.
Love is real. I love what you're saying about the fear. It's not that I'm fearless. I just would do it anyway because our fear gripped me for so much of my life. There were so many things I really wanted to do that I just wouldn't do. And not because I couldn't, or I was just afraid to look stupid or be rejected or
lose something.
Yeah.
Lose people.
And I think also with the work that I do, like, because we make clothes, but we host events and we do like a lot of like just emotional and spiritual development.
Yeah.
It's like we really don't have that much to fear in this society. It's like we're not living out in the woods where like we have to contend with bears or coyotes or just things that humans have had to contend with for a long time.
Like life or death things.
Real life or death scenarios. So I think we invent a lot of them because that mechanism still serves us to help. When you're afraid, you can run further and longer.
Yeah, right.
You can lift more.
The adrenal response.
Yeah. And without question, if fear is serving you. But when you don't have real reasons to be afraid, and I'm inventing them, like, oh, you're doing this. It's like now we're just having like intellectual debates with the fear, or
No, it's like I started acting now.
Yeah.
And then I didn't necessarily want to be an actor when I was a young person, but I wanted to be an artist, and I was afraid to do so because how would you take care of yourself? And I remember I was speaking at a fundraiser after I graduated from college. And it was a nonprofit I'd been a part of when I was in high school. And they invited me back as an alumni to give a talk at a fundraiser. And I'm sitting down at this talk, And at the end, I do a good job. And at the end, I'm at the bar and I'm talking to this guy. He's like, man, your talk was so great. It's so powerful. It's so passionate. What do you want to do? I didn't know. I was 21. I was like, man, I love to work in like music business or movies or something like that, but I don't even know how to do it. I'm from Chicago. And he's like, oh, well, I'm an executive at Village Roadshow Picture. I can get you an internship. It won't be paid, but if you come out there, that's how everybody starts.
Yep.
Just come in and work, and then you'll figure it out.
Yep.
And so much fear in my chest. Where am I going to live? How am I going to get out there? How am I going to pay for myself? Where am I going to be? Who do I know? I have no family. I didn't follow through. And now I look at myself now, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
Nothing.
Everybody's story starts like that.
Everyone.
Right? Like everyone's story starts like, I got to go to the studio and be there. It's just like it's just amazing how like the energy is always there, but it's not until you're willing to take and say yes. You know?
You have to say yes to yourself. I love you saying that. I think I just started saying we society is for people that want to believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself, then you will accept this. I had one lady walk into the store. She was like, what is we are the ones who are waiting for me? And I tell her, like, we are the ones.
Ain't nobody else coming.
No one's coming to save us. She goes, I don't want to be the one. I don't.
Somebody come save me, please.
Please. Please. I don't want this. I don't want it.
I heard Jesus does that.
You know? And Jesus was saying the whole time, like, you will do this work even greater than I did.
That's right. That's right. It's on you.
This is you. And
It's
like,
on you.
No. We're just going to sing to you, bro. We're going to give the offers to you. You do it. And so when those opportunities happen where like this person's like, I could open a door for you. What is that goes, no, not me. I'm not worthy of that. I don't deserve that. I would fuck it up. I couldn't be.
Yeah. You have to learn to question it. Like you have a thought and you're like doom spiraling.
Yep.
What if this happens and this happens, this happens? What I do? And it's like, oh, you're putting all your energy into planning for stuff that's not happened yet. And you got to stop and go like, oh, is this true?
Yeah.
No, none of this has happened yet.
Yeah.
How would I feel if the opposite happened? And invest just as much energy into that
why
thought.
Don't we? That's what I'm saying. We don't have to answer that right now, but that's something I question all the time to my own self to make sure that I do. Why is it so easy for me to go negative with my own inner monologue? No, it's going to fail. You're going to be a homeless.
It's not going to work.
Instead of, this is going to go absolutely incredible. Better than you could possibly think. You're going to make so much money. You're going to have so much fun doing this. It's like, where is that? And I have to make myself think it. And now where I'm at now is I'm doing this because I want to do it and I think it's the right thing to do. Whether I win or lose, I'm going to enjoy the process.
It's how you want to spend your time.
This is what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
I want to be playing this game. I actually don't care. I'm going to give everything I can to try to win the game because that's what I do. But if I'm
competitive.
If I lose, I'm going to have an amazing story. Michael Jordan jumped from the free throw line and dunked and won to win the game. And I was in that game and I dropped 40. And he dropped 45. And that was just how it went,
Yeah.
Or I hit the game winning shot. But I'm in the game. I'm not going to hold myself on the sidelines anymore.
There was this coach, basketball coach, and he had a basketball metaphor like that. But it was like so poignant. He was like, we got to learn how to be shot. Everybody wants to take a shot, but you also got to learn how to be shot maker.
Yeah,
how to get in the position to take the shot.
Yeah.
And half of getting in position to take the shot is believing you should be there, trying.
That's it.
I think it's interesting because if you think about your life and your journey with We Society, you could easily doom thought yourself to death with every time things went wrong. But how do you feel when you think about all the little things that went right? Like Jadena, the artist, was wearing your shirt in the video and shouted you out, right? Your shirt is in a piece of artwork at a gallery in Paris right now. So it's equally both. You could lose your store and you could be in a gallery in Paris
at the same time.
At the same time.
And so
who do you nurture?
And I didn't ask for either one. This just happening. It's out of me now. It's outside of me now.
That's
so
right.
now I'm just trusting. When I got the GQ article, that wasn't because I was sitting around going, how do I get publicity? It was like Chris Paul just kept wearing us to games.
That's right. I forgot, but Chris Paul was wearing your shirt. Shout out to Chris Paul for being a real one.
You know what I'm saying? And so
I keep looking at your phone instead of the camera. That has distracted me. It's like, why is he looking at the ground?
Oh yeah, don't. Is it? Yeah,
it's all right. I'm not a professional at this yet.
You are a professional.
You're getting there.
A professional doesn't mean that you are well versed yet.
I'm not well versed at this then.
Yeah, that's all. It's the fourth one.
Back to Chris Paul. This is what I'm talking about, though. When you follow your thing.
Can I say something that really helped me in this last season?
Yeah.
When I left, I was sad for a couple of days about losing the store. When I had to remove my business partner, I didn't want to fail and prove that like I couldn't do it alone. But it was suffering before that. But it was like I had so much of like I want to, but I also knew that was my ego. So I was like, I'm not gonna listen to that. Like I'm gonna accept what it is. So I'm sitting at home, I'm sad, and I'm talking to my realtor, who's like, "Hey, I heard you were leaving Ponce." And I'm like, "How? I haven't even told anybody yet, except Ponce." You know
right. They're like, "This is my business. This is what I do."
You know, she was like, "There's a lot of spaces in Atlanta that would love to have you." And I'm like, I'm feeling kind of down. You know, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I maybe you could talk to me about it, but I just felt like and so then she starts retelling the story and she doesn't make up anything. And then when I went to this last place, they're telling me their version of the story. It's like, yeah, you were at Ponce for 2 years. That's incredible. And you've been doing this for 7 years. And I'm like, well, yeah. Well, yeah. So they're like, we would love to have you. You can just tell us where you want to be. And I was like, wait, other people can see me better than I can right now because I'm too close to this one part. But if I zoom back, it's like, no, I've been learning and living and iterating and I haven't quit. And that says something. And we've accomplished all of these amazing things. They're like, no, look at all these people that came, all these events you threw. You've had Lecrae come, you've had this, you've had this. We want that here. And I'm like, yeah, yes.
I did do all of that.
I am the shit.
Yeah.
Let me start over.
It's the power of perspective.
It's perspective.
I love that part in The Fablemans when he's talking to the director and he's like, you put the horizon at the bottom, it's interesting. You put the horizon at the top, it's interesting. You put the horizon in the middle, it's boring, right? But it's perspective, right? If I put the horizon at the bottom, you look epic and you look powerful, right? If I put the horizon at the top, you look diminutive and small. How do you treat yourself? How do you look at your horizon in your life?
That's all I'm saying, man.
You know?
We're the ones, I went from putting my horizon at the top. And if you're a Bible reader in here, one of the stories I love the most is when God like tells the children of Israel, like, go take the promised land or whatever. Whatever you think about that. And it says said, right. It says that they said they were grasshoppers in their own eyes. So we know they think we're grasshoppers. And so then it didn't go. And it took 40 more years. And it's like, that's how powerful self-belief is, self-actualization. It's like, I feel small. I know you think I'm small. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I don't have to use my ego on the other side where it's like, I'm
bigger than you.
Yes. I don't think I'm better than anyone.
Same.
I just don't think anyone's better than me. That's all. And I'm going to be my absolute best. And I invite you with everything that I have to be your absolute best.
We all do better if we all try.
That's it.
Yeah. I do believe in that. So like, what happens? What's in it for society, for the world, if your big idea works, if people adopt it, if people start believing that they are the ones they've been waiting for, and they don't have to put off social change, economic freedom, whatever, on anybody else, what happens? What do we get?
So I've been thinking a lot about this because it's also a great business development question.
Okay.
If your business leaves, what does the world lose?
And
if there isn't an answer, you don't have a good business yet.
Okay.
Right? If Apple leaves, if Apple shut down today, what does the world lose?
I'm glad you're not asking me because it's my podcast. I ask the questions. So what happens if society leaves? Don't put it on me. Don't put it on me.
What I think people lose is a safe place to learn how to honor and love themselves and honor and love the world that they're in.
I think that's real. Life has been hard for me too, and like things have happened.
Yep.
And I've not yet been able to make it to your store. But whenever I saw it on Instagram, it was just smiles, and hugs, and crowds.
Yep.
At one point, you're roller skating through the store.
Yep.
There's yoga going on. There's sound baths going on. People are getting well. There's vendors bringing in new products that are adding to people's quality of life. Like, it was more than just a t-shirt.
For sure.
It was way more than just
For
a t-shirt.
sure. This is just the beacon. This is just the flashpoint that says, hey, this is the idea. How do you feel about it? Oh, you like it? Come join the tribe. Come meet other people who fuck with this.
Mm-hmm.
What the world gets from it is people who love themselves and want to share that love. And so what we've heard.
What would the world be like if everybody just loved themselves? Not worried about everybody else. What would the world look like if everybody just had a true passion for themselves?
That's it.
Where they answered their questions, where they...
The few examples that I have are like people saying, like, I'm in a business meeting, I'm in staff meeting, and there's a problem, and it's like, who wants to tackle this? And this, I've had like 6 or 7 people say, I'm thinking to myself, I could do it. I should do it. Somebody else is probably better qualified. And then I said to myself, we're the ones we're waiting for.
And they did it.
I'll do it. And it's just the willingness to engage and to step in. To say, I will give my energy to trying to make this a better functioning situation, to solving this problem, to being a part of the solution and not just complaining about the problems that exist. Well, I think the world is a much better place if people are doing that and saying, because it's so easy to just make a list of everything that's wrong.
It is.
And just complain about it. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't like this. I don't like that.
So what? What are you willing to give to do anything about it? Even for your own self.
I mean, like, I joke with people, but I'm like, people always get what they want. You know? Because everything's a choice.
Yeah.
So, like, even though you may say you want to lose weight, you may want to make more money, you may want to save, you may want to travel, but every day you make a choice to do something different than that.
Yep.
So the thing you say you want is actually not it, because you're constantly choosing this other thing. And it's like, until we get intentional with how we use that willpower and choose the things that actually we want, nothing changes.
Nothing.
But it can. Like, it can. I think both of our lives, like me and you, our lives are kind of connected with like we're always going through stuff at the same time. Like, you got married, I got married. You quit your job, I quit my job. You started a business, I started a business. You read that book, I read this book. Now you're getting into polyamory. I'm telling women I'm dating, like, yo, I gotta warn you.
Am I me?
I gotta warn you. Kareem's in polyamory. It might be coming for me. I don't know. But it's just like,
I'm going on a date tomorrow with somebody I'm very excited about.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
That's none of my business. It's none of your business either. So, like, that's a big. You've been through a lot. You have a lot of big ideas. We're getting towards the end of our time.
Okay.
What do you think of what we're drinking?
I love it. Shout out to Raekwon.
So earlier, Kareem was saying how we're like the Wu-Tang Clan, like our energy kind of amplifies. And I was like, well, I know exactly what we're drinking for this episode. It's a Lambrusco, which is kind of like a sweet, sparkling red wine. So I thought that was cool. It's like champagne, but it's red wine, it has bubbles. And it's made by Raekwon the chef.
Come on now.
So we had to have the Wu-Tang inspired wine for the evening.
I grew up on the crime side, the New York crime side.
This is a challenge for me for every episode, trying to find a bottle that matches the person I'm with.
I like it. It's a great. It gives it a certain je ne sais quoi.
So, a part of the big idea work in the show is about inspiring people to try to do their big ideas.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Take the risk. You won't know it's going to work, but just do it, right? And I think it's because at the end of the day, I think we all feel more fulfilled when we have a purpose, right? A reason for waking up, a reason for doing things. Purpose work is different than like paycheck work. Purpose work is like, I feel fulfilled, I feel satisfied, right? I get energized when I do it. And there's 4 questions that, if answered in the affirmative, are a good indicator that you may be doing your life purpose. Okay. So just answer from the gut.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about it.
All right. I love this.
Okay. First question. Do you love what you do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you good at what you do?
Yeah. Damn good.
Do you make money doing what you do?
Yeah.
Does the world need what you do?
Yeah.
You're living your purpose.
Wow. Wow.
How does that feel?
Wow.
That's heavy, right?
That's super heavy. I'm about to take that in.
Because like if you don't have all four, it's not complete.
Yeah.
Like if you love what you do, you make money doing what you do, and you're good at it, but the world doesn't need it, it's pointless.
Pointless.
Right? And if the world needs it, you're good at it, you love doing it, but you don't make money, you can't sustain it.
You might have just leveled me up even more because I'm thinking about myself and how much I needed the We Society, but how I can communicate from the We Society to me better so that I know it exists even more.
That's hella I get what you're saying. That's wild. It's like you invented the mantra you needed.
Yes.
To help yourself.
And I know I'm out there.
Yeah.
I know that.
That is so heady.
Okay.
It's true though.
It's so true.
It's true. It's true.
Like I'm out there. There's a kid like me, an adult like me, who feels misunderstood or misaligned or ready to give themselves to helping impact the world for good and for better. And where can they go where there's like cultural relevance and understanding and cool, like,
it's a vibe.
You know what I'm saying? And then like education that doesn't say this is how you have to think. We're questioning how we think.
Yeah.
How are you even being educated? What's important? What's your value system to say what you need to be educated on and how you're going to give yourself to it? And thinking through those 4 questions just helped me see. I even see a commercial like how I can communicate to me out in the world to say this is what we are and this is why you fuck with it. I love that.
I hope so, because there's a part of the podcast too is like you know being religious people or we're not religious people at this point. I don't even know how to say this, but it's a little bit too personal for the podcast. But that notion that like when 2 people pray, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I think I get the spiritual content, I think it's a very human thing.
Yeah.
When you share an energy with somebody and they agree and they're supportive, it's just more energy behind the idea, And I believe part of why we do this podcast is giving people who are taking the risk, taking some losses, taking some wins to chase things that matter to them. It's like we get to be together on it, and I'm seeing it happen for people.
Yeah.
Like the very first guest, he makes furniture, and like he just got a whole piece done on him about CBS, about his work in building furniture, because he's building out a van for a nonprofit, so they have a mobile office and can do work in the community. And it's just like he was at a place at that point where it was a little bit slower, and he was kind of dealing with some other things in his life, and then like that conversation, energy came.
I love it. That's all it takes. It's like how do you get from inertia to movement and having people touch and agree, like really touch, really agree, like really. And it just takes one little bit and then the momentum can pick up. And that's my prayer, is that like I'm just ready, that I prepare myself and then be ready for when it happens. And that's what I chose when this time happened. It's like, oh, I'm losing all this, but whatever's next, like I'm going to be ready for it. And then when this happened, I'm so ready. They're not even asking me for a lot of the things they normally ask for, because I came with a whole plan. Because for the last 1.5 years, I've been dreaming of when I get more space, this is what I'm going to build.
And it'll be new. It'll be everything you hoped it would be.
I agree.
And it'll be, it'll lead to the next thing.
Yep.
The new dream.
Yeah.
The next dream. The next energy.
I felt like I definitely showed life like I'm serious.
I'm gonna say that, like, I think that's true. We were talking about this earlier a little bit, but I agree. Like, the first things you made for I could see you like this is what was in your realm of ability.
Yep.
I could order a T-shirt from this guy and this person online, and they'll screen print, and I have it. I took the thing out of my head, it's in the world.
Yep.
But now it's like you are making things that are imbued with so much meaning.
Yeah.
Like, I wish y'all could see the back of my shirt. Maybe we'll put it on another thing, but like you're embroidering now. The concept, like this line is like we grow, and it's all these beautiful flowery things that are growing, and it's like growth is a very powerful idea for humans, right? Like no matter what age you are, it's never too late. You can grow, you can become something more, and that's what I'm saying. Like you started with just the word "we" on shirts, but they're like we bloom,
we grow, I got that from Tupac about the rose that grew from concrete. It was always such a powerful picture to me. That's what that's what this is. And it has the quote on there. because being from the city, being from where we're from, it's like, yeah, it's concrete. It's just stuff trying to stop it. And it's like, so what? We still grow.
We still grow.
And so that's what that is about. And then how do I show this love and beauty without always pointing at the trauma and the drama? I think we re-traumatize ourselves sometimes with the stories and rehashing. It's like we can acknowledge it. You can study the game tape, what happened and why, but I'm with Ye. It's like, what's the future? What's tomorrow? What are we going to do? We're going to grow. We're going to grow from love. So I appreciate the awareness and the understanding. Like I started where I was and now.
But you're making fashion now. You're making clothes. Yeah. Even like this shirt is made differently. It feels different. I'm like, okay. Like the little tag is different. There's a lot of detail in it now.
It's the first time I've ever said like I'm a fashion designer. I've never considered myself a fashion designer until last year.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, because you've been making clothes and selling clothes for like, and I think that's important. Like people want to know how it's going to work, what every beat of the journey is going to be, so they can just protect it.
Yeah.
But if you just get on, you're going to figure things out, and you're going to grow, and you're going to get better, and you're going to learn.
Yep.
You know, and it's just like the We Society clothing from the beginning is so different than the We Society clothing now. And the things you're going to do in this new space, when you have more space to design, the events you're going to host, like everything has the ability to grow, to evolve, and we should be open to that. I think that's another big idea in your life. Just you're not afraid to evolve. Nope. You're not afraid to question and say, hey, this worked for me for 4 years, but it's not working for me anymore. I need to find what's going to work for me now. And like, like that's so hard. It's so hard to be like, I had this thing, I thought this for like, I don't want to be a hypocrite, but you're different now.
I'm very different.
You're different.
Y'all could love it or hate it, but
fuck them.
Period. That's what I'm saying.
I'm different now.
I remember saying like, why am I trying to get consistent about my life?
That's right.
I'm trying to ask all these people what you think about what I'm doing with my life. Nah. Anthony DeMello, I do want to say this. He's my favorite writer. And he has a book called Awareness. He has other books, but in Awareness he says, or maybe it's The Way to Love, that one of the issues of humanity is that we look for people to stay still in the ever-moving stream of life. That we meet somebody on the stream and we like them there, and then we want them to stop being on the stream and stay right here and stop for the rest of life. And it's like, that's just not possible. If somebody's really living, they're going to continue to go, continue to have experiences. Things that were very important to them at 30 might not be as important at 50. Or more important at 50. Like when I was 30, I was willing to sacrifice a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I realize I'm willing to sacrifice my whole life for this if it needs to. This is how important it is.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna really love, to be open to that. And so for me, it's like I don't know what happens after I die. I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know what life means or all those things. But I do know that I'm experiencing life. And if it doesn't work for me, I'm not going to suffer needlessly for years and years and years because I'm afraid of what you might think about.
Of trying something different, trying something new, trying something I don't understand.
No, that's the only way I've gotten good at anything.
I mean, I think that's true for everybody. Like you got to be willing to embrace being a little bit of a fool at the beginning.
Completely like a moron.
Like like the first time I got to act on camera, I was in a movie, and I was horrible.
Yeah.
And it hit me. I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I thought this was all charm and charisma. It is not. There's technical skills you need to develop. But it's like, I'm going to learn.
Yep.
And I'm still like not where I want to be acting wise, but like over time, I've been in shows. I'm doing more. I'm growing. I have opportunity. And it's like, that's how you get better. Like, you can't start off good. Like everybody wants to start off and be like
great,
whoever they're comparing themselves to.
Yep.
I want to start off and be Viola Davis. I want to start off and be Kanye. I want to start off and be Steve Jobs, right? You know, Virgil Abloh. You want to start there. But all those people were on like decade-long journeys. Like I love when you hear people like who are directors, auteur directors like Quentin Tarantino, where he writes the movies too. And I love when he's like, oh yeah, man, I had the idea for Kill Bill like 15 years ago. I finally did it. It's like, I think everybody needs to hear that. Like, you have a great idea, but it might take. But if you don't start, you will never get the capacity to do it.
Ever. You'll be just always sitting and thinking you're a great idea.
So don't be afraid. Do things out of love. Do it because you love it, not because you're afraid of what might happen. Do it because you love what could be.
That's it. Do it because you love it.
That's a huge idea.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
And if you're afraid, do it anyway. Because what I tell myself when I'm afraid is, I literally say out loud to myself, oh, I really care about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I really want this to go well.
It matters to me.
Yeah, this matters to me. So now I have to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it.
This matters. I got butterflies.
Everybody should have that in their life. Something where you feel like, I got to do it because it matters to me.
That's why I'm making music again. It's like, that's what I love the most. And I'm telling
you
myself,
wait to the last minute of the show to talk about making music again. We just have to have you back. We're just going to have to have you back. There's no time to talk about making music now.
Yeah, just check me out.
Well, hold on, but we're gonna talk about
iTunes.
We got a little bit of time. We got a little bit of time. Okay, we got a little bit of time. We're not gonna go way over. I gotta stop this. I was the first 2 episodes. I was good, 60 minutes, and then people I know come in and it's like, I want to talk for like 3 hours, but we're not gonna be Joe Rogan. We don't get we're not doing that.
Not yet.
I don't know if I ever want to do 3 to 4 hour podcasts. Like I think I think the power of it is being concise. But anyway,
all right.
I just want to talk about because we've been talking a lot about questioning and challenging. And I think what you're doing with music is also very humbling because you got to a place where music wasn't for you.
Yep.
And it took you a journey of life to realize, oh no, it is. And that's okay too.
Yep.
You can say, I want to leave some shit, and you can come back. You can come back. Like you can say, I'm done with this. And then later, like 5 years later, you're like, actually, I'm not. And now you're better for it.
Way better. Way better.
So you talk just talk a little bit about like your journey with music and what's the to be concise. Why come back after you decide? Like why did you leave and why come back to making music?
I left because it was dead. When those identities, the Christianity, the husband, those things, when those things died, music also died. My music at the time was trying to prove a point. And so
a little bit,
okay, cool. Thank you.
There's not much left.
Yeah, a little splash.
We drank the whole bottle. That's bad.
Come on,
that's
Ray.
bad.
Nah,
that's never happened on an episode before. We've never drank the whole bottle on an episode.
The purple tape, baby. Baby.
I'm sorry.
So it died, and I didn't even feel like making music. Then I was talking to you one time, and you were working on
I forgot this. I'm a part of the story. I forgot.
You were making a mixtape or something, and you were like, "Yo, I need a 16 from you," and I was like, "Oh, I don't rap anymore," and I meant it from
your soul,
from my soul.
I know you meant it because it hurt my feelings,
and you responded like it did. You were like, "What?" I was like, "Nah, I don't rap no more, man." It's like it's over. And you were like, and you trying to understand? You said, "Not even for fun." And I was like, "For fun? Like, if I'm rapping, I'm trying to be the greatest of all time." And I was like, nah, I guess I could rap for fun. I do love it. Mm-hmm. So then I started just messing around. But then every day it was like I'm older and older and older and I'm further away. And I don't know if I have it. And what's my point? And then it just came to a point last year. It was just like I was thinking to myself, I'm around so many talented musicians. I could just do marketing for them or something. Mm-hmm. I could just be close to it. And I felt my insides hollering, you want to rap.
Don't you do that to us.
Yeah.
Don't put us next to it and not let us do it.
You know what I'm saying? And just be like, I guess I could just, blah, blah. It's like, nah. And if you don't try right now, you're going to always question. Because I don't need it to be successful anymore. I don't need to become Kanye West. Although skill-wise, I want to see how much of my skill I can develop. Mm-hmm. So I started making music again because it's how I organize my emotions. It's how I organize my thoughts. It's my process. Therapy. Yeah, it's really therapy for me. And I'm nice.
You are nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you are nice. Like conceptually, like, yeah.
I'm cold. So now I'm back and I'm having so much fun. And when I really believed I could do it, it was like, I'm open. Requests started coming in, could you feature on this song? And I was like, what's happening? I haven't even.
I just tickled because you've built this whole life in Atlanta around being a spiritual person, a plant-based vegan person, a gentle parenting person. Like you've built a brand around holistic wellness and fashion and clothing and art. And these people are your new friends. They have no idea who you are.
None.
So you go to the studio and they're like,
I'm talking about
he's barred up.
It's like you were there. That's exactly what it's like.
I can admit it. Cause I was there 10, 15 years ago, and it was shocking for me. It's like because we met at work. Yeah. We met at work.
Like, wait, he's rapping for real.
He's barred
he's
up.
Rapping.
I remember there was like a festival, whatever, I can't remember what it was. It was like it was a music festival thing, and it was a day of service, and they had a concert there. And everybody was going on stage and doing their sets. And I was there doing service like everybody else, and they're doing their sets. And everybody's rapping. It's cool. It's interesting. Yeah. And then you came on, and it was like everybody stopped working and came to stage. Yeah. This man is powerful.
Yeah.
And it was like a mix of, like, you was like a genius. You mixed in, like, other artists' songs that you know they would love,
Yep.
and then they were thematically tied to what you were about to release, and it was just I was like, this man is wow.
I appreciate it. I forgot all about that, but now I see.
You remember that day?
I do. Yes, for sure.
We were on the West Side.
Yeah. No, that's love.
So you've been barred up for a while,
and I thought I was too old, and it's like my flow is gonna be too old. So I was just been practicing for a year, but I'm a way better rapper now, and it's because I feel fearless. I feel no pressure. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't have a point to prove, and I was definitely trying to prove a point before.
Like Andre 3000 had that comment around like hip hop is supposed to be hip is for the youth, and that's why he's not doing it anymore.
Yep.
And I understand that sentiment. Like you maybe not be able to on the cutting edge of the culture or whatever the next thing's going to be potentially. I don't know, but like art is about sharing a perspective.
Yep.
I think it's powerful that we have rappers in their 40s, and I hope we have rappers in their 50s.
Yep.
Because there's just like everybody's on a journey and growing, and who Jay-Z was, who Kanye was at 18, 20 years old is not who they are at 40.
No.
And I want to meet that person.
Yep.
And that person vibes with where I am.
Can you imagine Tupac rapping right now?
What would Tupac be rapping about if he was right now?
Oh my God.
You know? Like given how society has shifted.
Yep.
You know?
And the last thing, I know we got to go, but like, fuck it, I forgot.
It's okay. It's okay. But I understand. I'm glad you're making music again. And I'm glad that's a good lesson to end the show on. It's like we talk a lot about taking risk and changing and trying things, but it's also okay to rediscover things from your youth, from your childhood, from your early adulthood, and say, I can reclaim that. And maybe who I am today gives that a lot more, it's a lot more meaningful.
Way more. I lived a lot more. I have a much deeper perspective that's truthfully mine.
And you removed all the bullshit.
Yeah.
You're no longer trying to like do it to impress somebody.
Nah.
You're not trying to do it because you need to make a certain amount of money to make it work.
Yep.
You can make these songs because they genuinely, like you want like we're talking about like what's the new song? So I haven't talked to you about it, but what I saw was We Gammy. That's how I said it.
Wag me.
Wag me.
We all gonna make it.
We all gonna make
We
it.
all gonna
That's
make
what
it.
it stands for?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. We all gonna, and the shirts I made for that are crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, man, yeah.
You're gonna put it all together.
Yeah, for sure.
Synergy.
We all gonna make it. That's what I do remember now. This is about nothing, but Andre is not rapping. We know he's one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Without question.
17 years, not doing nothing, comes out, does a flute album. He does a show in Atlanta where he's playing the flute, and it's the largest gathering in Piedmont Park in the history of Atlanta.
Wow.
I think something like almost 100,000 people
Oh, wow. Okay.
came to hear him play the flute. And it's just about like, he's just doing what's real for him. And we are with him.
Yeah.
And what would have happened if he would have tried to alter himself to fit in? It's like,
Because I don't, as an artist, I don't like these comments that happens when capitalism meets art. You end up with people saying things like, nobody asked for this.
yeah.
So? Like, so?
Right.
I don't care that you asked. Nobody asked Andre 3000 to play the flute.
In fact, if we could, we would have asked him not to.
If we could, we'd ask him. We didn't, not even that we wouldn't ask him not to. We had requests.
Yeah.
We wanted him to make what we liked.
Yeah,
and he said, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. I could.
But I tell you what, I'll give you what I got. And if you come, great. If you don't come.
And everybody pulled up. You couldn't move in Atlanta that night.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. And I love it. I love what it means. It's like, yeah, man, do what you love. Do what you love. Love yourself. Love others. Do what you love, even if you're afraid. And it will change your life in very positive ways, no matter what.
yeah.
Yep.
That's a good word to end on.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to tell the people just how to connect with you, how to purchase We Society clothing, how to be involved with the movement if they feel like they are the one they've been waiting for and they want to embrace that self-improvement.
I love it. Go to wesociety.co, WESOCIETY.co. That's also the Instagram handle.
Bar it up. Just wrap it in your website.
We do also have a TikTok, but I really understand Instagram better, so that's where I spend most of my time. But you can find us on TikTok at We Society Apparel. And yeah, any support you can give. And if you're in Atlanta, we're going to be opening the new location in February, Black History Month. We might have some pop-up spaces in between there. But yeah, sign up on Instagram. I would like to say I do have a private community for people who want to be up to date behind the scenes as I'm going and looking at new places, talking with general contractors, the architects, all those things. If building the company is inspirational and exciting for you, just go to the link in my bio on my Instagram and sign up. That's where I share everything. I don't share it on social media. It's just if you sign up to say I really care about this nerdy stuff. It's like Trapital, but for this lifestyle brand that
I still think it's interesting. Like if people, like a lot of times people want to know how do you do it.
Yep.
And I think what you're doing is very vulnerable. You're literally showing people how you're going to do it. Like you're closing one store.
Yep.
You're about to open another store, and you're going to watch you go on the construction site tours, negotiate the rent, find out if they have, I forgot the term.
Tenant improvement funds.
Tenant improvement funds. See, these are the things people need to know.
Yeah.
If you're in a retail space, you can ask for tenant improvement funds
for sure,
which they pay you to design your
they
space.
didn't offer it, but when I asked, and it was a shit ton.
See?
And they was just going, let me walk out of there, boy.
So that's why that might be why it's worth joining the private community, because you're being vulnerable and actually showing people like you don't know everything, but they're watching you figure it out and apply what you know in a very honest way, tied to your big idea. So if you have the resources, you're interested in learning about entrepreneurship, definitely go to his Instagram bio and sign up for that letter, because it's kind of cool. Not everybody lets you see somebody build something from the ground up.
Yeah, I'm here. We're here, baby.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for coming, man. Thank you for coming from Atlanta.
Yeah, man.
I got to start giving an award away for people who come from the furthest away. Joseph was here last month, and he came from New Jersey, but I think you're technically further.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining us for the 4th episode of the Speak Your Truth podcast. We are SYT. You can follow us on Instagram at We Are SYT. The show is on YouTube at We Are SYT20. Whoever owns We Are SYT, you're not using it, let me know. I'll pay you for it because I'd like to have that. You can also find us at wearesyt.com. This is a show about big ideas, people who've taken the risk to try to take the things in their head and put them in the world. I hope you've been inspired. And if you want to be a guest, go to those locations, let us know. We're looking for more people to interview. Thank you.